I'm outside Buckingham Palace, the home of the Queen. Who is the Queen of, in alphabetical order, the third letter of their name: Grenada, the Bahamas, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the United Kingdom, Belize, the Solomon Islands, Jamaica, Canada, Papua New Guinea, Australia, Antigua, Barbuda, Tuvalu, and New Zealand will die. Okay, yes, this is a sensitive topic, and yes, the Queen will die. She hasn't got some Horcruxes lying around in her palace. She will pass away. But what do you expect? As of 2022, she is the longest living reigning monarch in British history, sitting on the throne since 1952 and is 96 years old. So it makes total and utter sense that there is a plan put in place for one of the biggest events in the 21st century. Going to have a funeral watched by billions of people and have an economical impact of billions of pounds. So here's the not-so-secret plan for when Queen Elizabeth II dies. London Bridge is down. The phrase said when Queen Elizabeth II passes away, saying of a 7-decade plan in the making. The first official, that isn't a relative of the Queen to know, will be her private secretary, Edward Young, who will contact the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. The Cabinet Secretary will inform the FCDO, who will then, on a secure line, tell the other 14 Commonwealth realms where the Queen is still head of state, and the other Commonwealth nations, mostly former British Empire colonies. Commercial radio stations will know by a network of blue orbit lights that inform them that a member of the royal family has died. They won't know yet it was the Queen, but they will have to switch to a playlist of probably your songs your grandparents listen to, unless they listen to drill. Which I highly doubt. Basically, a playlist full of inoffensive music. The BBC, being Britain's public service broadcaster, will be informed by RATS, a radio alert transmission system put in place to alert attacks during the Cold War. BBC Two will suspend all programming and switch to BBC One, where a special BBC News will air. Before the announcement, the news presenter will have to switch their tie with a black tie purposely kept on set for this occasion, and before the announcement is made, a sequence of the Queen's portraits will show. News crews will gather outside Buckingham Palace, and on the gates of the palace will be a message, the same message on the royal website, informing the British public what has just happened. The Union Jack will fly at half-mast out of respect, but the Royal Standard will always be flying high, because technically there's always a reigning British monarch. Television channels have days and weeks worth of coverage up following the Queen's death. ITV and Sky News have been practising for years, replacing the Queen's name with Mrs Robinson. London will almost shut down. Both Houses of Parliament will be called, and on the evening of his mother's death, Prince Charles will make his first announcement as the new king. Britain will enter a 12-day mourning period. There'll be a funeral, reprinting of money, and a new king. But as long as the words "London Bridge is down" are never said, well, we know the Queen is pretty much alive. But we probably won't hear that in our lifetime, probably in a couple of centuries.